Hi guys, I just wanted to speak briefly about my experiences studying and practicing yoga. I originally took my yoga teacher trainings. I took the only two trainings that I've done back to back, which completed to about 400 hours, and I made up the rest of the 100 hours in silent retreats, other things like that, with the same teachers. Now, have had and still have money problems, financial issues due to my brain injury. So they were kind enough to let me do these trainings for almost next to nothing. Some of them were on donation, so they were for nothing. And I will never be ungrateful for this experience or what these people have done for me, because they helped me out at a time where I was indeed suicidal. I was experiencing extreme post-concussion symptoms every day. It wasn't getting better, and I had just given up. So someone told me to go to yoga. They said that I would love it. I was already going to the gym, and that was helping me, but it was also hurting me. It was producing more pain. It wasn't going to the gym wasn't perfect for someone with neuromuscular pain or I'm not sure what the word is for it, but after you get a brain injury, everything seems to hurt a bit more and you're always sore. So I know that has something to do with the brain and your nervous system and everything that's going on with that. To be quite honest, I'm thankful that I'm still able to breathe at this point. But I am worried for my future. Things like chronic traumatic encephalopathy and, words I can't even pronounce. So, if I hadn't have found yoga when I did, I'm not sure what I would be doing or how intact my mental health would be right now. It's not the best because of COVID, I'll be honest, but I have a lot of stressors at home and people who will not respect my boundaries, and people who think that they can bother me and speak to me whenever they want to, and they won't listen to simple requests like, my brain gets very overwhelmed easily, so when I enter a new room, please wait a minute before you speak to me. I've tried to ask this person this 3, maybe even 5 years ago. To this day, they don't fucking listen. I'm the one with a brain injury here. I should be the one with memory issues But anyways, that's my family. But yoga really changed me, and I don't think anything else would have. Maybe Qigong, maybe Tai Chi, maybe something similar, some kind of restorative body movement. I tried karate because I thought that maybe that would be better than going to the gym for me, but even that was too strenuous. So finally, I decided to go to yoga. My whole life I'd been kind of adverse to yoga. I'd made fun of it, honestly, a couple times here and there, and thought it was kind of an odd activity. But I never made fun of it to the point where I wouldn't try it. So I was always open to it. And a cute girl told me that I would enjoy it, so I had to listen. I mean, what are you gonna do? right? So, I mean, I listened to her, and ever since then, it's been helping me. And I've had disagreements with people, and, you know, people have had problems with my cannabis use and other things like that. And I never really tried to push it on anybody or force them to see it. I could have been a bit more discreet with it, yes, but I never tried to force anybody to smell it or use it, or I vaporized it anyways. I didn't see it as that big of a deal, but apparently to some people it was. So I wouldn't have been able to do the training if I couldn't have medicate myself, and I didn't have edibles. Sometimes I have tinctures and things. Now that I've been growing for myself, I can supply myself, but it's been a problem for a while. So, you know, little things have been happening here and there, but I never really focused on them that much. A couple of them I did because I've always had bad habits of paying attention to what other people say to me and putting more value on insults and things like that than I should. So those kind of things bothered me, but I was able to use the yoga practice to... I didn't get rid of that nagging feeling or that, you know, but the yoga at least gave me a break. And now I'm at the point where I can get rid of that nagging feeling, and I can tell my mind to stop focusing on things that don't matter, or stop focusing on what that guy just said in that comment. Because 9 times out of 10, that thing that guy just said to you in the comment isn't even about you. No matter how rude it is, that person is projecting. That's really the truth. Now, I'm with a business coach right now, and spirituality is very overwhelming because there's so many different things, and everybody is like, hey, look at this, look at that, look at this, look. So she's into human design, and my new business coach told me that I'm a projector, and so I attract projectors, and she's a generator. So you know, she says all these things, but then she uses life examples to, and it is truth, but it's also a different theory. I don't know if it's Chinese medicine or if it's, I don't know what it is, but there's just so many different theories that I just find myself saying, slow down. I don't end up saying that, but yeah, it's just like, slow down, I'm still trying to learn and teach yoga. I can't register like 5 or 10 different yoga or different spiritual systems if I don't even have one down. So the whole thing is just overwhelming at times, and that's why you do need a coach, and you need someone to help you. You need a teacher like me. So anyways, even though the human design thing was a bit overwhelming for me, it's starting to piece together little things, and I'm using I'm looking at different people and I'm saying, oh, that person's a projector, that person generates, that person does this, and it is helping me to make better decisions with who I interact and how I interact with them. So all of these spiritual systems do seem to help, and they do have their merit, but there's just so many of them that it's, whoa. Even my traditional yoga teachers would branch off and talk about Sufism and Jainism and all these different isms. And I'm just like, okay, I came here for yoga. Let's stick to yoga. But it really does all have its place, and that's why they're there. It can just be so overwhelming at times that, yeah, you do need a teacher. And I've been studying yoga on my own for the past couple years, but I've been studying it steadily for about 5 to 6 years now, and that's because it's helping me, and that's because I love it, and that's because it's helping me to live a better life despite my injuries, despite my disabilities. I hate using that word because a brain injury is really just a perceived disability. Like things like retail work would be hard for me because I would have a lot of people talking to me, and it would be an intense environment with lots of lights. So that might be a bad environment for me. A computer job might be bad for me. So that I have to work in a different way now, but that does not mean I can't work. A lot of people, like, they get a disability or whatever, and they think like, oh, that means I don't have to work for the rest of my life. Like, no, that means you have to find a way around your obstacles, because the obstacles are your path. A lot of people don't really understand how to live life and what they're actually doing. But your disability is the path. The obstacle is the path. You are supposed to examine your disability. You're supposed to figure out what you can do. Just because someone labels you or says you have a disability does not mean you have to walk around with your head held down, and that doesn't mean you can't work a job. That doesn't mean you can't do anything. If anything, that means that now you have to live your life with more power. Now you have to choose better. You have to use more discernment to make better choices for yourself, to keep yourself healthy, to keep your mind healthy. It's not a death sentence, and I thought it was for the longest time. But a disability, an injury, whatever you want to call it, you can turn it into a gift. I was going to say it's a gift, but that's very hard for some people to hear. It was for me for a while, but the past couple of years it's really been cemented into me deeper that yes, this is a gift, and now I didn't lose anything. I gained choice. I gained personal power. I gained the ability to think more, to use better discernment. I was given a gift to not go back to working a retail job and hating it every day and wondering why I was there. Now if I do go back to a retail job, I'll be happy because I am contributing to society, and I'm not going to be there because I feel like I have to be there. I'm going to use the yoga practice and the habits that I've gained from my yoga practice to help me work better and to work friendlier and faster. That's how my yoga has made me a better person. I still get angry with people, even my parents even. But that's because they overstep boundaries that I've tried to put in place. Boundaries around my suffering. Boundaries around my sensitivity to stimulation and noise and social interaction. Boundaries that they don't listen to. So yeah, if you're not going to listen to my personal boundaries that are tied to my suffering, that are tied to my disability, I'm not going to be nice to you. Because my brain has fucking snapped now. I don't care who is talking to me. If you're my parents, I don't care who you are. If you're disrespecting me, I'm going to match your behavior. If you start yelling at me, I'm going to assume that you want to attack me or you're trying to attack me. And I'm going to match it. I'm going to mirror your behavior. Because that's how I acted in the hospital. I don't even remember it, but on the neuro I even forget what it's called, but it was a report about my concussion from impact to when I woke up in the hospital. I was originally airlifted to Ajax Hospital, and the report said that I was trying to fight people in the hospital. And I was doing that because I didn't understand. I didn't even know where I was. I didn't understand that people were trying to help me. I thought people were trying to hurt me. I was concussed. I had amnesia. That's what the report read. Do you understand that? I had momentary amnesia. I had something that most people experience because of old age. At age 20, 23, 24. Think about how fucked up that is. And it's still happening because I still get concussions. And the people I live with do not seem to realize this. They seem to think, oh, he had one brain injury, he should be fine. No. A brain injury is not a regenerative injury. I don't think you can regenerate any injury fully, but you know, broken legs are a bit different. I'm pretty sure legs get stronger after they're broken. Your brain does not get stronger. Your brain is something like 6 times more likely to be damaged again if it's damaged or injured. The brain is an egg. It's very, very, very fragile, and none of us seem to understand this. When you hit it, it goes downhill from there. It does not go up. The only way it goes up is if you put in the effort, and that's what I've been doing. But I cannot put in the effort and listen to people argue with me every week, every month. I'm not going to do that. And if you're in a similar situation, you shouldn't either. I'm kind of stuck here because my brain injury prevents me from working. So it's a shitty situation, but I have to fucking leave if nobody's going to respect the boundaries that I've put in place because of my disability. That's extremely disrespectful. And honestly, it seems like my parents have dementia or something. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but you can be sure that they are not taking as good. They're not as concerned about their brain health as I am. So I'm not saying I'm smarter than them or anything. I'm saying that I'm trying to take better care of my mental health and my brain. So, I kind of went on a tangent here, but what I wanted to leave you with was just the fact that my yoga journey has never really been... It's not been something... I still don't feel whole or... Like, yeah, I don't have the perfect girlfriend, or I don't even have my own house yet. But I will. And I know that now because of yoga. Because yoga has changed my mindset. Yoga mindset. That's what I have now. Now, when I'm annoyed by someone, I don't react and run with that. I stop myself. I can stop myself. That's something that I never thought was possible because of my brain injury, because of my trauma. But I've done it. And that's a huge goal for myself. And I didn't have the money to go to India to go see my Baba or go see a guru. I consider my yoga teachers to be my gurus because they were they like to say, steeped in tradition. So I like to view of it as the gurus came to me. I didn't have to go to them. I was very fortunate to find these people, and I was and am. And I will never regret meeting them, or um, never think that my journey should have been another way or with someone else, because even though I am trying to make money with this, they really transformed my life for basically nothing. How many people can say that? How many people have jobs and are working right now that actually want to do that for someone else? You know, how rare is that? How auspicious, it's another word they like. How auspicious was that? I mean, I had given up all hope on humanity, in humanity. My parents still loved me, but I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't even want to go outside because I couldn't really talk to people or anything. Just everything overwhelmed me. So again, like, I just when I was in the hospital, I prayed. And that's the first time I prayed in easily over 5 years, maybe even a decade. But I couldn't stop crying. I was just lonely in the hospital. And I just prayed. I said, I don't know who's out there. I don't know who you are. I don't know if God is real. I don't know any of this anymore. How do any of us know any of this anymore? But I need help. I need help. I'm pretty sure I screamed. I begged. I begged. And ever since then, I met those teachers. I've met other teachers. And I keep meeting people who genuinely, or they seem to genuinely, just want to help. Everybody has their own motives for doing what they do. And I'm really not concerned with your motive unless it's malicious. But I know when I was in the hospital, I was speaking. I know somebody was listening to me. I know. And that's why I got an angel tattooed on my shoulder. Because that's never going to leave me. Whatever that spirit was, whatever this energy, whatever this entity is, things are aligning in my life, and I am being taken care of by the universe. And that's been happening ever since I prayed. I just begged. So again, I did go off on a bit of a tangent here, but I hope you took something away from this. I hope you took a message of hope away from this, and I hope that the next time you think that nobody cares, the next time that you think that you're all alone and nobody's going to help you, you think nobody even wants to visit you, just speak. Somebody is listening. know that now. Yoga and my brain injury have helped me to find God again. In a strange, abstract way, my brain injury and yoga brought me back to prayer. Yoga and my brain injury brought me back to the idea that there is more in the universe. And most importantly, yoga and my brain injury have made me obsessed with becoming the best version of myself, with improving myself, and with trying to help others, especially others out in the same situations that I'm in. Because brain injury is a real pandemic. Something like every 13 seconds someone sustains a concussion or a brain injury. A concussion is a brain injury. But every 13 seconds someone sustains someone in America. This is the real pandemic. This is what we need to be taken care of. This is what needs funding and support. Do you wonder why there's so much violence and crime and theft out there? It's hard to provide for yourself when you get a brain injury. What do you think most of the people do when they're in my situation? I have parents who can take care of me, who can support me, so I don't have to do those things. But if I didn't have parents, you can be rest assured that I would be getting myself into terrible situations. And that's not something that I want people to have to do, but this is the world we live in. And that's why I want to interview people, and I want to bring more awareness around brain injury and the effects that it has on your life, your personality. Brain injury takes a loving, caring, sweet little boy and turns him into a raving, murderous lunatic. Brain injury gives you anger that I've never felt anger like this before in my life. But at the same time, I am able to calm myself down with yoga. Sometimes I can't. But more awareness needs to be raised around brain injuries and the effects that it has. We need to stop being ignorant and stop brushing stuff off of our shoulder and saying that wasn't our fault because I didn't know at that time. That's cowardice. That's ignorance. That's not taking responsibility for your behavior or your actions. That's brushing someone's pain off as not a big deal. That's brushing someone off as not a big deal. So, I hope if you do have experience with brain injury, you will reach out to me. I'm looking to interview people. If not, I hope you got something from this talk. Namaskar. Bow to you. Thank you. Have a good night.